Black goes king d5, we can go king d3, and you see inevitable process of playing a4 and b5 eventually. For example, if black goes f5, we go a4. If black goes, actually in this position after f5, we do go f4, and black goes g5. Now we have a dilemma here. Should we push b5 right away? Is it going to win? The answer is no. We are not going to win if we push b5. So did we make any mistake here? Yes, we did. Here is the mistake. We made one correct move, b4. Black played f5. The correct move here is to try to stop black from connecting pawns, like g5 and f4. Remember, black's defense here, if we went a4, and black goes g5, black's defense is to create pass pawn after f4, exchange, and then white will have only h pawn. Let's look closer what I mean by that. After g5, suppose white goes b5. This is a draw now, because pawn takes b5, pawn takes b5, king c5, b6, king takes b6, king d4. Now you can say, how can this be a draw when white penetrates and can exterminate all black's pawns? Oh, the reason why this is a draw, because black plays king c6, king e5, and now f4. White must exchange those pawns, and now we know that white can never win pawn ending with rook pawn unless pawn just queens and black can't stop it. King g5, king e7, king h6, king f7 with a simple theoretical draw. Now let's see where we made a mistake. We made correct move b4, and black played f5. So we can try h4 to stop black from playing g5. Now if black plays h6 trying to make g5, then we will play h5 and black is totally lost. Because now we will go ahead and make our pass pawn, penetrate to king's side, and win easily. So black should try with playing g6, a4, and try to win this position. And in this position, after h6, black still manages a draw. So h4 is a better try for white than a4, but still, after correct move g6, white has difficulties to win. Let's look at it. Now, it's very dangerous for white to play king e3, because then black will play king c4. However, if white plays a4, then after h6, b5, a takes b, a takes b, and g5, we get to position with a simple draw. Because even if white plays h5, king c5, b6, king takes b6, king d4, king c6, this is a simple draw. Because after king e5, f4, gf, gf, king takes f4, king d6. This is a simple draw. Now, here, this was the one of the type of position where we do have outside pass pawn. We can create outside pass pawn, but it's not sufficient to win this position. It's not enough. Now let's make little changes in position. White's pawns are g3, h3. Let's put them on g2 and h2. Now this position is easily won for white, because we go b4, then we go a4, then we create pass pawn and penetrate on king's side. That's where this rule will be applied fully. You know, once you get this position, you have to try for outside pass pawn, whether you can win or not. You know this is your best try. Now, why pawns on h2 and g2 are better placed? Because after b4, f5, let's try to play for black the same way we played in previous example. Now we can go a4, and if they go g5, we can simply play b5, pawn takes b5, pawn takes b5, king c5, b6, king takes b6, king d4, and black can practically resign here, because they lose all those pawns, and they cannot create passed pawn like it was with pawn on g3. Now after f4, we can go king e4, king c5, king f5. Be careful only after h6. We go h3, king d4, king g6, king e3, king h6, king f2, king takes g5. Well, however, even in here, we ended up with a draw, but we can make little adjustment here. So position that may look very simple, it's not that simple. So let's go again. We played b4, and black plays f5. We played a4, and black played g5. You see, you know the rules. You know the basics of endgames. You must use outside pass pawn and all this. But also you have to use little calculation. And here it goes strictly calculation and nothing else. You calculate after b5, pawn takes, without moving pieces, king c5, b6, king takes b6, king d4, f4. You can calculate. This is not difficult to calculate. You can play it on at home, just moving pieces, or check it on your computer. Actually, you don't really need computer. It will be much more useful if you try to move the pieces or calculate it all in your head. Maybe h3 wins. Now, because after h5, we can go b5, ab, king c5, b6, king takes b6, king d4. Now, what you do is you apply your rule. You calculate. Now, we cannot just stop on this position and analyze it endlessly. No, because chances of you winning lottery with several $1 million are much, much higher than getting exactly same position that we have now on the board. So position, one pawn standing a little differently will make all difference in calculations. But you know the pattern. I have to have outside pass pawn. Oh, that's good. Now, the way to make pass pawn actually on this side, we have to move first the b pawn and then a pawn, because this way the black's one pawn cannot block my two pawns. That's another rule. Then I have to keep my pawns back, and I have to try to penetrate with the king on queen's side. So those are the rules you have to know and try to follow them. And now you have to add to this some calculations. Calculations is